Guys, in this session, I'll guide you how do you create a new custom Linux server as well as Windows server using GCP console portal. Apart from this, I'll guide you also how do you create a new custom Linux server using GCP CLI command so that you can easily understand it. Based on your project requirement, you can create it. As you can see here, these are the prerequisites required for create a custom Linux server and custom Windows server in Google Cloud Platform. As you can see here, this is the GCP CLI command to create a new custom VM. The command is like that, guys. The Cloud compute instance create server name, then you have to add your project ID, then select your specified zone name and machine type. You can add the machine type name. I'll give example also here. As you can see here, Cloud compute instance create, the name of the server is like custom Linux server CLI and the project ID is as I mentioned here, and I selected zone here US Central 1A. Machine type is E2 custom 21024. This is the custom machine type. Guys, let's switch to the GCP console lab so that you can easily understand it. Guys, as you can see here, this is the Compute Engine web portal page. Then first of all, I'll create a new Linux server. Later, I'll create a Windows server so that you can easily understand it. As you know, guys, you can create a Linux server. Then you can click on here, create instance button here. Then you can configure your server details here. First, I'll enter the name of the server, custom Linux server, so that you can easily understand it. Guys, as you can see here, this is the normal predefined virtual machines. Its monthly estimate cost is approximately $25, and whenever just I'll select here the custom machine type here, as you can see here, what is the monthly estimate cost for this VM? Approximately $35, as you can see here. Now guys, you understand the predefined VM and the custom VM. What is the basic difference between the price estimate? Based on your project requirement or your client requirement, you can select it. I'll show you the different machine configuration series so that you can easily understand it. Guys, as you can see here, I selected here like the region is US Central 1 and the zone is US Central 1A. As you can see here, the machine configuration series I selected here E2, and as you can see here, this is the monthly estimate cost approximately $35. If I selected N2, then what is the monthly estimate cost? As you can see here, this is the approximately $58. So based on your requirement, guys, you can select it, but only for the practical purpose you can select E2 machine series here. Then you can select, as you can see here, this is a machine type. You can select custom here. Then whatever you need for the vCPU and memory, then you can select it. Then just I selected for demo purpose, so that I selected 2 vCPU. If your project requirement is like more, then just you can select 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, whatever you want. Same thing, suppose if you need 1 GB memory, then you can select here. Suppose you want 1.25 GB or 1.75 GB, or you want to 3 GB, you want to 3.25 GB, and so on. Based on your requirement, you can create it. Only the Google Cloud Platform can provide to the customer to create a custom VM based on his requirement. Guys, next thing, as you can see here, the rest of the field you can leave as it is, and if you want to add the allow HTTP traffic or allow HTTPS traffic to the custom VM, then you can select it. And as you know guys, I don't have any private VPC, so that I selected here only for the default VPC and default subnet, and rest of the field leave as it is. Then click on create button here and wait a couple of seconds to create your custom Linux server. Guys, as you can see here, this is your new custom Linux server and the status is the instance is running now. If you want to connect your custom server, then click on SSH and open in browser window here. Then wait a couple of seconds to start your new custom VM. Then click on authorize here. As you can see here guys, this is your new VM. Then write any Linux command whatever you know here. As you can see here is your new custom Linux server is working fine now. If you want to exit, then write your exit command here, then automatically disconnect it. Now guys, I'll guide you how do you create a new Windows server. Similarly guys, just you can create the create instance button here, then configure the new custom Windows server. As you can see here, I'll selected US Central 1 is this zone and region like US Central 1. Then I selected similarly E2 only for the practical purpose guys. Then I selected the machine type is custom here. As you can see here, boot disk, just you can change the image here. Click on change, select your Windows server here, then change the version of the Windows server whatever you want. Just I selected default as Windows Server 2022 data center. You can always select for the desktop experience for Windows server. Then you can select here. As you can see here, what is the monthly estimate cost for the custom Windows server? $106 approximately. Based on your project requirement guys, you can select it. Then you can select the firewall rule here and click on advanced button here. As already you know that I don't have any private VPC, so that I selected here as default VPC and default subnet. Rest of the field you can leave. Then click on create button here. Then wait a couple of seconds to start your custom Windows server. As you can see here, this is your custom Windows server already created here and the status is instance is running now. Now guys, just I'll create a new firewall rule to allow for the HTTP as well as RDP port for connect to the new custom Windows server. Click on create firewall rule here. Already you know guys. Just you have to enter your new firewall rule here. Then select the service account here. Then select your default service account here. And the source is enter 0.0.0.0.0 to allow all the IP address and select allow all here. This is only for practical purpose guys. Then you can select based on your project requirement to select the specified protocol and ports here. Then click on create button here and wait a couple of seconds to create a new firewall rule. As you can see here guys, this is your new firewall rule already successfully created here. Then next navigate to here the compute engine portal. As you can see here guys, now I will connect to that RDP port for custom Windows server, but before I will set the window password. Then click on set and wait a couple of seconds to reset your new Windows server password. This is your password guys, just copy here, then close, then download your RDP file. Click on successfully downloaded your RDP file now. Click on connect and enter your password here, then click on OK and then click on yes here and wait a couple of seconds to connect your new custom Windows server. As you can see here, this is your new custom Windows server. Now I hope so guys you can understand it. How do you create a new custom server for Linux as well as Windows server? If you want to disconnect for your new custom Windows server, click on here, then click on OK. Now guys, I'll guide you how do you create a new Linux server using GCP CLI command. Then first of all, just you can activate your Cloud Shell. Click on activate Cloud Shell button here, as already you know guys, and wait a couple of seconds to start your temporary VM. As you can see here, this is your temporary VM guys. Just click on open in new window so that you can easily work for using the cloud active shell. Then back to the GCP compute engine portal and close the active shell here. Guys, as you can see here, this is your cloud active shell terminal, and as you can see here, this is your GCP CLI command like gcloud compute instance create, then name of the server like the custom Linux server CLI. This is the name of the Linux server. Then you can add your project ID. Apart from this, just you can add the zone name, as I selected zone as US Central 1A, and then you can select the machine type like E2 custom 21024. Then press enter. Click on authorize and wait a couple of seconds. As you can see here, the custom Linux server CLI is successfully created and status is showing as running. Let's navigate to the compute engine portal. Click on refresh button here. Guys, as you can see here, this is the custom Linux server CLI server successfully created here. Guys, this is a simple command. You can use it. Gcloud compute instance create custom server name, then add your project ID, then zone name and select your machine type based on your requirement. Guys, I hope so now you can understand how do you create a custom Linux server, Windows server, and using the GCP CLI command through create a new custom VM based on your project requirement. And end of lab, just you can select all, then you can delete all the server and Thank you. Have a great day.